Shall we start?
Should we just jump in?
Let's just do this. I think first we need to prost.
Yes, prost.
I mean, now that I know how to say he bicky, I'm excited to say he bicky. So
Yeah,
thank you for that.
It rolls off the tongue, not exactly, but it feels good. It tastes good.
It does. So thank you for coming. I really, truly appreciate that. Why don't you just quick introduce yourself just so people know who you are?
Yep. Hi, I'm Ethan James, and I'm a singer-songwriter.
In Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, that's where I live.
In Brooklyn, great. And I actually want to start with that because you're Australian and then London for a little while.
Yeah.
And now New York. So just number one, how and why did that come about? And then I have even more questions.
Okay. The short answer is music. I moved for music each time. That's the short answer. The long answer is going to take a little longer than what we have. So, I enjoyed every place. I think I did get my first record deal in Australia. It then made it overseas to Europe, where Greece got their hands on it, and then something started happening there. But before I knew about that, I moved to London.
And what year?
That was 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, 2004 to 2011. And 2011 was the year that I moved to New York. And I've been here, 8 years now.
Does it feel like home? Ish?
Ish,
yeah.
yes. I feel comfortable enough to say I feel like this is a place that I'm living with no immediate plans to move elsewhere.
Now, you touched on this a little bit. Now, Australia, much different than London. London, quite a bit different from Manhattan. Manhattan or Brooklyn, definitely a lot different than Australia. How do you think each of those, like you said, you moved for music and it felt like it was a good time and a good place for you to do that. How are you bringing a little bit of Australia to Brooklyn, or have you just forgotten that part and you've already grown and moved on?
It's a tough question because I feel I am a little bit of everything, every environment where I've lived. So I will absorb things from Australia, absorb things from the UK, absorb things from America, the United States. As far as bringing things to each, from each continent, or I got stories. I have stories, and I'm quite happy to share them.
Stories usually lead to songs, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's why you live your life, right?
Yes.
To create those things.
Someone asked me recently what prompted the moves, and I said, because I like adventure.
Yeah.
And I think adventure delivers the best life led. When you have an adventurous life, it's a good life.
And I'm sure that's bringing a lot of stimulus into you. And I was actually going to ask you real quick before we hear a song, if you could, and I know this is a loaded question to any musician, but your creative process, how does a song in general for Eden come to life?
It's used different models over my course. So I started out writing melodies as the first thing, and then I would find lyrics to fit that melody, or I'd find a chord progression that fits that melody. And there's no right or wrong way to write a song. But lately, I've sort of moved through all that and come to a new place where I'm putting more emphasis on the lyrics. The poetry aspect is more important to me now. And so I will write the lyrics first. And from the lyrics, as you read them, you'll get a natural rhythm coming from them, which gives you a rhythm. And then it suggests a melody, actually. The intonation of your own voice will suggest the melody.
How you're singing, humming, quoting, whatever it happens to be, you start picking up that cadence,
yes,
or something that is, and you're like,
Yeah.
That's how this is supposed to go.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I feel that puts more focus on the lyric, which is very important. And I think all my favorite, well, not all, but most of my favorite heroes are great lyricists. So it's very important for me to get those lyrics right, to get them powerful, to get them really meaningful.
Smart.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. That's great. I love to hear that, because there's nothing that bugs me that I hear a great melody or a great bass line and it's just wasted on pointless lyrics.
Yeah.
Or not pointless, but just not strong. Like,
Right.
you know, I need the lyrics. I feel that way. And so it's great to hear that's part of your process. I lied. I know I said I was going to get to that, but you brought up something with your creative-ness. So when you're walking around, do you ever like catch snippets and you're like, I need to put that in a song?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the subway must be a gold mine.
It first happened on the subway. When I first moved here, the first things I was doing was recording into my phone. And I was singing and humming things. I'm just humming bars, and then the train would come past, and like this blaring sort of sound would be, you know, like getting into the phone as well. But that was part of it. That was part of the feeling. So yeah, I do have a lot of ideas on the voice app on my phone, which are now just in cloud space, really.
Yeah,
Sort of where I store my digital ideas. But that definitely happens. And then I'll write in the notepad, I'll just write some lyrics about things like, well, that's a weird thing or an interesting idea or a poetic way of viewing some beauty or some truth. And I'll write it down. And David Bowie did this, and I'm sure many other artists have done this as well. And I tried it once, and it worked really well. And this is the idea that you have hundreds of snippets of lyrics. And back in the 70s, you had to cut them out. You couldn't do it digitally like we do now. But he cut them out, and he'd place them, and he'd sit on the floor and place them out like a jigsaw puzzle, and put them together, right? But they're real meanings, but it's finding a thread that can go that jump from one to the other, and a commonality in that, which is fascinating. It's a very enjoyable process of writing. So I did this for one of my songs with my notes.
Did you actually cut them up?
No.
Like David Bowie?
No, I didn't. But what I did is I had a big screen in front of me, and I put like little post-it notes, like plastered over, but not real post-it notes, digital post-it notes. So they were, you know, yeah.
So you could actually play with them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty brilliant.
Them around,
yeah.
just like they were on the floor.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of a virtual, snippet.
David Bowie would be happy and probably a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Probably both.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was a little bit Minority Report to me. You could, move things around like this, like on the screen with your hands.
All right, Tom Cruise. Are you ready for a song?
Yeah. Okay, so this is one of my recent releases. It is a song called The Villain. They say that I don't deserve you, but it's you they know, not me. What do they think I'm deserving? No trial, no questions, and no explanations. This devil deserves all that he gave. And I felt conflicted, but I left when you say they want you safe and secure from all things that are bad. I'm the villain. I'm the villain. They turn their nose up at my name. I'm the villain. I'm the villain. Without me, they got nothing to say. I'm the villain. I'm the villain. They turn their nose up at my name. I'm the villain. I'm the villain. Without me, they got nothing to say. I'm the villain. Oh, God hates the villain. I'm the villain. Oh, we love to hate the villain. Yeah, we all hate the villain. But oh yeah, I love the villain.
Yeah. You're a bad man.
Terrible person.
And you got the song to prove it. I love it.